this is Tim Cashel with the Evolve Academy. Today we'll be going over Barco's latest addition to the EventMaster family, the EX. The EX brings new expansion capabilities to the EventMaster series of products. When linked to an E2 or S3 unit, the EX can expand the number of inputs or outputs available. In a standalone configuration, the EX can be used for format conversion or simple aux routing for full screen sources. As you can see, the EX has no front control panel. The unit's default state is a static IP address. You can find out the current IP address and status of the unit by inserting a USB stick into the front port when the unit is fully booted. A text file called Who Are You EX will be placed in an EM folder on the USB drive. You can then view this file on a computer. The unit can be switched to dhcp mode for IP addressing by pressing the reset button once. The LED light will blink 3 times. Pressing the reset button again will return to static IP addressing, and the LED will blink twice to indicate this state. Pressing and holding the reset button for more than 5 seconds will initiate a factory reset. This will restart the unit and set it to a static IP address with a default of 192.168.0.185. Of course, the easiest way to access the EX is via the EventMaster toolset. This will require version 4.0 or higher. Once your EX is connected to the network, it will be visible in the Discovered Units column. You can then click and drag it to an open workspace. By clicking on the banner at the bottom of the EX, you can go to the Adjust tab and change the unit's IP address and unit ID. This is a necessary step when adding multiple units to a single system. In fact, you should add EX units one at a time to a network. This ensures that you have changed the default IP address before adding another unit onto the network. The EX comes from the factory with no I/O cards installed. As a standalone unit, it doesn't make much sense to populate it with all input or all output cards. Notice that the motherboard for the EX extends into the area underneath slot 1. When inserting cards into this slot, be sure that the zip tie that holds down the LED cables is in the down position as far as it can go, or better yet, removed. This way, there is no interference or damage to components on the EX motherboard. Always remember that cards are not hot swappable, and power must be removed before inserting or removing cards. Typically, you will have one input and one output card at each slot. In this unit, we have one SDI input module and one of the new DisplayPort 1.2 output modules. This allows us to set up 4 auxes. We can then route any of the 4 sources to any of the auxes. Format conversion will happen if the source does not match the output resolution of the aux. A single EX could be used to replace up to 4 Image Pro 2s for simple computer to HDSDI conversion with Genlock. When using the EX with an E2 or S3, the first step is to make your physical connections between units. This requires the EX to be connected via Ethernet to the network and with a CXP link cable to the E2 or S3 unit. The CXP cable comes in lengths up to 5 meters in copper and up to hundreds of meters via fiber converters. Any link connector on the E2 or S3 can be used, but the CXP from the main unit must connect to the bottom CXP connector of the EX. The top CXP connector is used to link to another EX in the chain. Up to 2 EX units can be linked on one output. It is also a good time to mention that the CXP connectors only insert one way. The groove on the top of the male connector should line up with the single guide tab of the female connector. Insertion should not take any major force and is complete once the click is felt or heard. To remove the CXP connector, be sure to pull on the Release tab that will release the locking latches before removing the connector. Once you've made your connections, access the E2 by itself in the EM toolset. Click on the banner at the bottom of the unit and change the unit ID to any number currently not assigned to another unit. Then change the IP address if you're going to have more than one unit connected at a time. Disconnect from the EX system. Select the E2 and drag it to the workspace. You will notice that any available EX units will display under your E2. Click the Add button to attach the EX. If your link cables are inserted properly, you will notice green connectors on the E2 and EX. Go to the System view and a line diagram will be generated. Again, if the lines are green, you have a successful connection. Now, any resources you have on the EX are available to the main E2. We have two HDSDI sources coming in the EX. Let's create two inputs from these using Auto Create Inputs. Now we're going to go to the Multiviewer menu and create two windows for these sources. You can see that even though these sources are not part of the main frame, the sources can still appear in the Multiviewer. Likewise, output connectors on the EX can be used as part of multiple output destinations like projector blends or LED walls. This has been Tim Cashel with the Evolve Academy, with a first look at Barco's EX chassis. Thank you for watching.